Hey everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Grif.
I'm Baka.
What's up, guys?
What's up? You really wanted to go Baka, motherfucker, didn't you?
I just tried not to laugh. Oh my god, I don't know what's wrong with me.
Yeah.
The pre-show was a little goofy, so.
A wee bit.
Isn't it always?
Just a little bit. My goodness.
Sometimes.
All right.
Sometimes it's heated.
Yeah. And scene.
We're so professional. We started the show and we're like, yeah, we don't even know what's going on here, you guys. Stop, it's a new week, everybody. We have no idea what's going on. That's how we live.
Nope,
we're good.
That best way to live is ignorance.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong.
To be fair, ignorant people are happy people.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong there. Well, what games has everybody been playing?
I will start, I guess.
Okay.
I've been playing some Pokemon, but mainly Sea of Thieves because I am really close to Legend. 49, 46, 46, I think, right now.
Hell yeah.
And, of course, the new stuff came out this week for Shrouded Spoils, which they've done a lot of tinkering with the game in really positive ways for those people that were kind of like, there's not a whole lot to do. All you got to do is go do this and go do that. No, if you're on a sloop, on a solo sloop, it's a little OP right now because Megalodons galore. Skelly ships popping up randomly. Skelly ships just wandering around the place. The skull forts show up about every 20 minutes. So it's like a bunch of stuff going on. The Kraken now will attack a sloop, which I had happen. Which is quite interesting. When you knock down a tentacle, you now get prizes. Yay! Loot comes out of the tentacles.
Okay.
They're tentacle pinatas now.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. The same thing for the Megalodon. So if you kill a Megalodon, it's on there. So a lot of people are going for the Megalodons right now. Well, of course, there's accommodations for it too as well. And then now they have gemstones that you can pick up. The statues that they had before that were the mermaid statues when they had that whole thing going on never dropped anything. Well, now they have gemstones. Well, the gemstones, of course, are the same they were before: the sapphire, the emerald, the ruby. Sapphire is worth 1,000, 1,500 for the emerald, and then the ruby's worth 2,000. But you take that to wherever you need to go with it. So let's say you're 50-50 and a 48. You take it to wherever you need to take it to. So you want to take it to the merchant, you want to take it to gold, wherever you want to take it, and that raises that one. So it gives you an option to be able to raise certain ones quicker. But we've had really fun adventures. I figured out how to glitch the hell out of the Skelly ships because the ones that wander around aren't real smart. But if you get close to them, then they engage your ship. So I figured out if we park our boat on one side of an island, because every once in a while they'll stop in front of an island. If you park your boat on the other side and then you engage them from the other side, so if you run across the island to the other, they try to go straight toward your boat right at the island. So it puts all these holes in the bottom of their ship, and then they'll roll out and start to sink once they get back to the water. So I'm like, yay, quick way to do it. Because some of them aren't, like, real easy to... I mean, they're easy to kill, but it's like it's one of those where it's just a pain in the ass and a waste of materials and everything else if you're, not doing it right. So we just found out ways to
I'm sure they'll fix that because that's a pathing issue.
Yeah, and they don't drop a lot either. So it's like sometimes you'll get one of the captain's chest things with the bones on top of it or whatever. Mm. And sometimes you won't. A lot of times it'll be like a castaway chest, some stupid skull, and something else, and you've gone through this whole battle. Which I don't mind with the ones that are wandering around because I have a choice on whether I want to engage them or not. I do have a problem with those drops of the ones that all of a sudden appear out of the water. Because to me, those should be the ones that are the hardest to fight, and they engaged me, not the other way around, so I should get something more out of it. But kind of like with the Kraken. But the Kraken even drops gems, which I thought was weird.
I think it's weird that the Kraken drops loot.
Yeah. Think of it as the Kraken ate something off of a ship and it's spitting it out.
Sure, okay.
It's like, cutting the inside of a shark in. See,
But if you're shooting holes in its tentacles, why is it bleeding loot?
Because the tentacles, all the tentacles have mouths.
Yeah. They try to suck us up, remember?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was just like random tentacles, I'd be like, okay, that's just weird. But they're like mouth-eating tentacle thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, regardless, it's all video game logic anyways.
True.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah, because video games. There's your answer.
There you go.
But it has. We took quite a few forts and stuff the other day, which is very interesting because a lot of people they'll alliance up and stuff now to do that stuff since that's now a thing, and everybody gets action. And what's great, by the time you get all the loot onto the boat, the next one is ready, and you're like, "Hey, do you want to go to the next fort?" And we're all like, "Yay!" And so we all team up and we go to the next fort. And then we're like, okay, what are you all trying to build? Okay, we're trying to build this. Okay, well, we're trying to build this. All right, cool. So you get those. That way you get more points than we do for them as it raises up since it's, half the points and kind of divide the treasure up accordingly. But it's interesting fighting on islands you haven't fought on before for the forts because it's a different strategy. Because the other ones, if you think about it, the fort was the only thing that was climbing.
Yeah.
Everything else was flat, right? Now you're trying to weave your way up through everything, and so it's a different way of fighting, and we're enjoying it. Some of the cosmetics and stuff that they've added to the game, which we now have capstans, cannons, and the wheels are now available, so you can change those out. So those are nice. The only thing that's kind of, I guess it'll expand as it goes, but right now you have to go, each one of the different ports has different ones of those available of that style. So if you go in and you'll say, I want the Sea Dog version of this. Okay, well then you have to go to like Ancient Spire or something. And that's the only one that's going to have that. If you want a different version, the Admiral version or something, you have to go to a different outpost. And so it kind of gives you the option to explore the world a little bit more too. But overall, I mean, the game is... They made it more entertaining and fun because you don't know if you move from point A to point B. But if you're on a solo sloop, have fun. Because it is... The Megalodon, they all have different personalities now. They all are different colors. So you got blue, purple, red, a white, a green one, yellow one. But you'll go through and they all have different personalities and stuff. So you don't know who's going to attack, what's going to attack. So it's different, but it's very entertaining and fun and a good way to change the game. So we played it a lot. Had Snow Pants and I mainly, and we had some interesting adventures. We'll just put it that way.
Did you get into a lot of fights?
Like with
other ships.
Other ships, a few. We've had a few that attacked us. Well, we had an incident where we had a Kraken got to us, so we just spun the ship because we're on a sloop, right? And you only have two, so
Right.
we just spun the ship and just hit the tentacles as we went around because it will not wrap the sloop because it's not big enough to wrap.
Right.
So instead, it just tries to do all of its little sucking thing. And so, hey, whatever. So we killed the Kraken and was picking up the loot, and another ship shows up. Well, that ship shows up, and then a Megalodon shows up. And then...
There's a crack in a Baka's house right now.
Right?
Just-
While the Megalodon shows up, a ghost ship shows up. So we had a Kraken, a Megalodon, and a ghost ship all in one little area, plus an actual player ship that was a galleon that had showed up that was trying to fight us as well. And they're like, "Oh, this is our loot out here." Da 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 da. And I was like, "Mm-mm." So we ended up sinking him. And it was like, I was like, "Y'all have fun." Because it's like No Pants on a cannon. He is going to destroy everything. So, and me, I'm gung ho. I'm one of those. He's like, all right, I'm repairing underneath. And I'm like, okay, I'm off the ship. Next thing you know, I'm on their ship trying to hit them. And he was like, oh god. But yeah, it was fun. The Megalodon helped us out a little bit on that one because they were stupid enough to hit the Megalodon. And then we ended up with, they had a barrel. That was it. That's the only thing they had on their freaking ship. I was so pissed about it.
Nice.
But we sunk the ghost ship afterwards and got the loot off it, and it was pretty decent. So, and then you have the new Mega Keg, which is it's the barrel, but it has bones on the outside of it, and it's inside of a stronghold. It's worth 5,000 gold. So you turn it in, it's 5,000 gold. Or you can take it to somebody's ship and blow up their ship with it, because it's 3 times the strength of a regular barrel. If it's in your crow's nest and blows up, so don't drive in a storm, it will destroy your ship. It will sink your ship immediately, basically. It's so OP. But it's kind of like, I kind of want to do that. Go blow it up. So some people are doing you got to watch it. Because some people do the alliance thing, and then they'll end up going with the stronghold over to the other ship, blowing it up, killing everybody else.
Dropping the alliance, taking all the stuff.
Yep. So, got to be careful.
Being pirates, basically.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it was a good addition to add to it. I kind of people were using it to see what they could do physics wise. They'll put it behind ships to see if they can get the ship to flip off or like move toward, like push it towards an island or whatever. But we watched one. It was at the top of one of the towers on one of the Skull Islands. The dude sniped it, and he was a good distance away. We still watched his ship move like it had a barrel right outside of it. And like I immediately swam because he was one of our group that was helping out because I thought it killed them because they were no longer on their crow's nest, nothing. I thought it killed every one of them. So I was going over to save their ship and get over there, and they're raising their stuff. And he goes, no, but we all did go about down half health. So it was like, it's crazy. Some of the stuff they've added into it's really fun, entertaining, and I'm close to Legend, so I'm happy about that. So I'll be playing tonight and trying to get my 46s up to closer to that 48, 49 level and kill some more Megalodons so I get some doubloons and Krakens, all that good stuff. That's basically it.
Nice. I've been doing more Red Dead, but I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. Like anything, there's so much in that game that is just worth discovering for yourself. But I am, like, I know I've hit the point of we are getting close to the end of the game and things are not going well, which sucks so bad because I'm so attached to, like, everybody, and, things are bad. But
Still got your horse?
Yes. Dude, I would have just murdered everybody in this game if something happened to my horse. Screw you, people. But just play it. Just play it, everybody. Also,
I'm waiting for my turn to play
I know.
it.
When I'm finished with it, I will let you have our PlayStation, and you can play it, and I will play Pokemon, and actually make progress in that. Yeah, well, I mean... Chicken, I hate to tell you this, because I know we're going to wait for it to come out on PC, but because we've got this from Gamefly, I think we might end up keeping it, because I think I need it.
I don't know.
I think I might have to fight you for it.
I think we're going to have to argue on that one.
Oh, we'll argue about it.
Well, that's why you get him about halfway through it, and then you give him to him on that one.
Well, I mean, usually it's one of those things, if we're going to keep this game and it'll be like, a month or so that we're taking to play it at a time, then we usually end up keeping them, or, being like, we're not going to finish this, send it back, but this is one that I already want to play again.
Maybe. Well, keep an eye out on this one. We'll see who wins this discussion in the future.
Taking bets now.
Yeah, take a bet. See who gets the win.
I've
Merry Christmas, Grif.
But
I've got 5 on Grif, so...
I've got a lot of arguments in my head, so I got you.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't make them winners, bud.
She appreciates my logic. Why do you think she married me?
I appreciate your logic, yes. I will listen to your arguments, and we will see, but I am irrationally attached to a digital horse, and I might die, so...
You'll be fine.
But when you play it, it's so worth doing all of the side stuff, or, like, some of the side stuff at minimum. Like, you'll see little question marks pop up on the map sometimes. Sometimes it's just a matter of you being close enough to trigger it. Do them. A lot of them are super worth. A lot of them just for, like... I just did one earlier today that the game's getting really heavy with the main story part of it and everything. And this one side quest was just, like, a frivolous, fun thing. So sometimes it's helpful like that, too, where it's just a break from all of the intense... now and then. Sometimes the side stuff's just as intense, but every once in a while, depending on who it's from, it's definitely worth it. So good, though. And I wish I could just say all the things I want to say about it, but they would be so spoilery.
I know how you feel.
I will say one of the things that I will throw out there as a note for people is your horse, and you have to clean it every once in a while if it gets super dirty. You've been out riding and whatnot, and you can just run it through the river if you want. But if you go to Valentine, which is a town early on that you're in a lot, and you'll end up going back to every once in a while, that town, I don't know what the deal is, but it is just a mud hole. As soon as you get in, like, that's what would be like the city limits, essentially, your horse is dirty. And by the time you've gone through town, he's pretty much filthy. So be ready to brush your horse a bunch if you have to go to Valentine. Which you will. A lot. Because it's always muddy. Like, sun's been out for 30 days. Mud. Where's this water coming from? So enjoyable. So enjoyable. But I will stop talking about it so I don't spoil anything. And I will say, we better hurry this show up so I can go play Uncharted and get back to it. Just saying.
That addiction is real, bro.
It's so real. It's because I know I'm getting close to the end, and I want to see how things unfold, but I also want to finish up all of my side stuff.
Fair enough.
So.
Baka, what you got?
I've mainly been playing Heroes and Pokemon and some Overwatch all week. I'm way behind on Pokemon right now. I just ran Team Rocket out of Saffron City.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
The facility or whatever it was. The
company and guy got the Master Ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just ran them out and then went to go battle, and Pikachu's not quite 45 yet, so I was trying to level up other Pokemon. And
you were trying to do this Saffron gym first?
The psychic one.
Yeah. Fuchsia is the 5th gym.
Okay, that's why I was
gonna say you go south to Fuchsia City and then come back to Saffron.
But really, I've always done it the other way.
No, you go down. If you look at the order, it's Brock, Misty, Lieutenant Surge, Erica, Koga, Sabrina, Blaine, and then the last one. Yes,
yeah,
if you look at the order,
I've always done Sabrina first. Because Doug Trio and that dig and the Generation 1 is broke as shit against her Pokemon.
Oh well, I've always went down to
like
Fuchsia
even though he was under leveled, like he would almost one shot every last one of those little motherfuckers.
Because Pikachu broken.
No, he's talking about Doug Trio. It's a glitch or a broken mechanic.
But in this one, it's still super effective against Ghost.
Which I still don't understand how ground is super effective against
Ghost.
Yeah,
and all the other versions of the games that I played, I think it was unaffected. But Gen 1, it was super effective and it one-shot them. And in this version, it's still, but it is super effective against Ghost.
My Venusaur knows Earthquake, so he can just one-shot them then. It's just the same principle. They're both ground type abilities.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that still applies. But...
It does. My sister, it happened to her last night. She was using Sandshrew against somebody, and she was like, okay, well, I'll just use Dig because I'm at half health. And they're like, Earthquake, dead. Oh, poor Sandshrew.
Well, I mean, I mean, as far as Dig against Ghost, because in the Elite Four, I had a difficult time with the Ghost one.
Agatha.
Yeah.
What do you
Earthquake's kind of
what's
OP.
good against ghosts? I don't know these things.
Dark.
So dark, but ghosts live in the dark.
Dark beats Ghost, and Ghost beats Ghost.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Ghost is one of the strongest types because there's not very much that it can really beat it.
And Gen 1 Dragon was the most powerful because only ice and other dragon moves could affect him. And
yep. Now it's Ice, Dragon, and Fairy.
Yeah.
My Arcanine has a Fairy type ability, so he just gets in there and beats the shit out of the dragons.
I just need to bring Mr. Mime. Gotcha.
I guess.
Mr. Mime gonna punch a dragon.
Yeah, whatever works. I mean, I beat up a bunch of dragons with an ability called Play Rough.
Or do Mew and just give him a few of the moves.
Yeah, that's true.
Mew can learn in any move.
Yeah, Mew is OP.
No. Well, okay then.
Yeah. I've been playing a shitload of Pokemon Let's Go. I finished it. I'm basically kind of doing the final round, collecting all of the Pokemon. There's only two Pokemon I have not seen, Kabuto and Mewtwo. Can't seem to find a Kabuto. And I found the Mewtwo, but that motherfucker just keeps one-shotting all my Pokemon. Like,
you didn't save the Master Ball for him?
You have to battle.
No, that's right. You damn it.
Yeah, I mean, that motherfucker is 70, and he just one-shot. My Pikachu is 67, and he just one-shots Pikachu. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with this thing?
I'm going to piss him off and use Mew on him.
But, I mean, it's just crazy. So I just gave up on that one. There's also, in this game, there's also a special second floor in Cerulean Cave, which has all of these, like, little glow spots where you can loot special items. And they have hidden items. Like, you can pick up Master Balls off the ground. You can pick up the fucking fossils off the ground so that you can get more Kabutos or Ammonites. Like golden berries. Pretty much anything in the game you can pick off the ground off of that floor. So, and it respawns every 5 to 10 minutes. So you could just cycle through, pick up everything, and come back, and yeah, just keep, because I guess they needed a way to give you more options to pick up those items.
It's a legit loot cave. Nice.
Eventually you run out of money and Pokeballs and stuff like that. So
you can rebattle all of the gym trainers and whatnot, and the master trainers too, and you can go back through the Elite Four. Like, there's so much to do afterwards. Like, you're not just stuck with an empty world. Because I mean, I picked up a Dragonite earlier. I saw a shadow on the ground while I was looking for a Scyther. I was like, that looks like a Dragonite shadow. So I got up on my Charizard and flew up into the air, and everyone's flying around. I was like, oh, cool. So I caught him. But now I'm just waiting for Red. I need Red's Pokemon. I have 125 out of 150. Just need Red's Pokemon.
Hint, Red.
Yeah, Red. Red, I need your Pokemon. But other than that, putting all my time into that, I've played and finished Darksiders 3.
Yeah.
Now, this game is definitely swinging both ways, but it's starting to swing more positive. It was at 52%. Now it's at 60% positive reviews. On Steam.
Just to clarify where we're getting that number from.
Yes, on Steam. It has definitely been a back-and-forth fight of the group. As a fan of the Darksiders series, I really enjoyed the game. You could tell the entire time I played it. I had a few rough spots where it gave me some trouble, but I mean, other than that, not really. I mean, I died a bunch.
How does it differ?
The combat is so different.
The combat's a lot different. It plays more off of a Dark Souls base rather than the hack and slash. It's more of an action role-playing game than just a hack and slash style, which I didn't have much trouble learning the game and beating it. The story is incredible. I will not go into it. Like, if you're a Darksiders fan, play it on the easy setting, and they just released a patch that makes it even easier. So if the Dark Souls thing isn't your thing, you can play it on super, super easy, and you should be able to one-shot everything and feel good. And not have to, because it's somewhat reliant on being able to hit a button at the proper time, and if everybody has been playing games as long as they should be able to do that by this point. But the story is really fucking good from Darksiders' perspective, from the beginning to the end. So much character growth, lots of nice little twists and turns, just like the other game, and then the ending just fucking blew my goddamn mind. If I could squeal, I would, and now I'm waiting for the fourth one. But they said they were going to release a patch 2 days after the game released, and then they released one Saturday, which fixed a lot of the issues and made the game's easiest setting easier, so that, people who were having trouble, because I have no idea how people were having trouble on the easy setting, made it so that they could play it too. Because that was one of the biggest gripes, was difficulty.
The game's not easy enough.
Yeah,
I think it's because they did move towards the Dark Souls side of things, where the series had 2 games already under its belt that were hack and slash, and then they're all of a sudden like, hey, so we know that you're used to being kind of a badass and running in and killing things, and like, just droves because that's what War and Death did. We decided to completely swap it up, which I get, because that is a jarring transition to make from the first two to this one, and I get why they did
But
it.
see, I felt there was a good difference between the first and the second one.
Yeah, there was a big difference between the first and the second, and there's a big difference from the second and the third. I think every single Darksiders has their own very specific identity. What I think 2 kind of missed that a little harder because of, your death, but you don't really care for your scythe. But I also think it's kind of like the whole, he can use any type of scythe kind of deal. Anything as a weapon. I don't know. And he's got his ultimate form with his big scythe that you get the thing.
Yeah.
I do miss that. There were a couple of nice CGI finishers, which was cool. Everybody likes when your horseman gets to finish off the boss in CGI fashion. But there were only a couple of those, which was kind of disappointing. But the way they handled no more inventory management, I couldn't fucking be happier about. Not having to switch your gun for your horn, switch your horn for the bow or the ricochet thing, and all the different types of things that you needed to solve each of the puzzles and whatnot. This one is just you have your 4 forms and your ranged weapon, and then your secondary was based on what form you were in, and your wrath attack was based on what form you were in, and then you could use your boomerang to enhance, or your form to enhance your boomerang. And then that's kind of how you do it, which was really nice. I think that whole aesthetic, I think they kind of went a little far in the combat style. But the way I did it, I think by the end of the game, I had 150,000 extra souls in my inventory that I didn't use. Because you just find these clusters all over the place. And I didn't use any of them. I mean, I used them if I needed to get a little bit more to level up. But I mean,
maybe DLC later?
Maybe, but I just leveled up as I killed enemies and then put those into my points, and I didn't really have any problem. By mid-game, I was just whipping people's ass. I can only imagine where I would have been at if... I know, pun. She's a whip. Ha ha ha. I can only imagine what I would have done if I would have put all of those souls into my points. I probably would have just one-shot things. So... I kind of kept the game balanced for myself. I do like how all of her weapons stem from her little whip thing. That's really nice. Very cool aesthetic. Everything, basically all of her weapons manifest from her lightsaber that she has. Because, I mean, that's what it is. It's like a little handle. And then she just spawns whatever she needs out of it. It's like, oh, giant sword? Cool. Whip? Cool. Spear? Cool. Nunchucks? Why the fuck not? So, really, the flame weapon is nunchucks.
Yes, I know. I saw it.
She's like the Green Lantern
of the Darksiders, the horseman.
Darksiders. Yeah.
Yes.
Makes sense.
But yes, if you're a fan of the Darksiders series, it does have a learning curve at the beginning, but it kind of goes away as you play further on, and it becomes a lot less difficult if you can manage to get it, and then you can change difficulty if it just becomes too much of a problem. But if you're a fan of the Darksiders series, it's definitely one to look for. If you don't want to pay full price for it, wait for it to go on sale, which I'm sure it will, and then pick it up for sure. It's definitely a need. I need my 4th one, so buy it.
I will
It's
say
good.
one of my complaints with it, though, and this is just a Grif complaint, you don't get to see the horse nearly enough. She's a horseman, and you saw it like once, twice maybe. Was it twice? Once. But, damn it. Ponies.
Must have my pony. Must have my pony.
I need to paint Grip like an army of miniature ponies.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
She'll send you screenshots of all the ones she wants.
Yes.
I need this one from here and this one from here.
And I like the patterns on this one.
But that's all I've played this week. I mean, I've put all my week into Pokemon and Darksiders.
Well, you guys want to talk some news then?
I mean, you want to talk some Bethesda?
Yeah, right.
I mean, I
Some
don't because it makes me
Bethesda?
sad in a lot of cases, but sure.
Oh, they hurt me.
All right, before we start, it's important to note that when it came to Fallout 76, anything before that, we were fans of Bethesda. Like, and
We're
we give
still
people
fans.
leeway that we're fans of, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Now let's go into some of the issues that people are currently dealing with. I think the one that, if you bought the game and you got a specific edition of it, you were supposed to get a canvas bag with their deluxe version of the game or
It
whatever.
was the
And
Power Armor edition of the game that cost $200, so let's not,
Yeah, instead of canvas, it's vinyl.
Oh,
It's
which is
nylon.
awful.
Nylon,
It's
sorry.
nylon.
Yep, it's shitty, thin nylon that looks nothing
Thin.
like the picture at all. So, I mean, I get that that's not the whole, that's not everything that came with it. You're largely paying for the plastic helmet that came with the game, that edition of the game, and things like that. But still, you were promised a specific thing. A specific, it was worded, it had the picture. There was no way for you to just be like, well, the item looks different because, we didn't tell you what it was made out of. No, canvas bag was the actual phrase underneath. And then,
Yes, and for the people who bought the super edition, I'll call it, whatever it's called,
Power Armor Edition.
the Power Armor Edition did not get their canvas bag.
Nope.
And so some of the people contacted support and was like, hey, this was not what we bought, this was not what was advertised. And let's see if I can quote this customer support properly.
Yes, make sure you get that quote right, because somebody emailed them to complain about it.
Okay, so this guy said in his first email, the bag included with the Fallout 76 Power Armor Edition isn't correct. The bag is advertised as being canvas, but is clearly a much cheaper nylon material that doesn't look at all like the bag in the promotional material for the collector's edition. What are you planning to do about this? That was first email. Second email, can I get a response? Thanks. Okay, that's second. This is all quote from this guy. Mm-hmm. So they replied back, hello. We are sorry you aren't happy with the bag. The bag shown in the media was a prototype and was too expensive to make. We aren't planning on doing anything about it. Bethesda Gear Store support, North America. What the fuck?
We aren't planning on doing anything about it. I mean, basically, that was Bethesda's big screw-off buddy, we don't care.
But it's almost like this guy, it sounds like this guy's like 300th email that he's received about this bag. And he goes...
Well, and I get that, but you are a customer service rep.
Well, hold on. But I feel like he's gone to his service manager or whoever it is and gone, hey, we got to do something about this. This is really here. And they're like, we don't know what we're going to do about it. We've got to figure something out. We really don't know what we're going to do at this particular point. Now he's just frustrated and going, we're not going to do anything about it. Click.
Yeah, but even still, like, you should have a little more finesse to have said that.
Yeah, well, at this point, like, this could be the very first one that was ever sent about. I don't know. But at some point, anybody that sends out emails in customer service usually has a set one that they send out
like a
to every...
copy-paste.
Yeah, like copy-paste. And it usually comes from whoever the head dude is, because he's like, okay, you're going to get complaints on this. This is the way it should word. Boop, whatever.
Yeah.
And copy-paste. That doesn't seem like what happened
that
here
is most
at all.
definitely not at all what that is.
That's someone that's just like, but fuck it, I don't care anymore.
Yes.
Oh my god, I want to punch my boss.
Yeah. So here's another one that they got from customer support. Due to the thanks to the contacting Bethesda, my name is blah. I am happy to help you. Due to unavailability of materials, we had to switch to a nylon carrying case in Fallout 76 Power Armor Edition. Then why wouldn't you just say that they're backordered, that you have to wait to be able to make more canvases? We hope this doesn't prevent anyone from enjoying what we feel is one of our best collector's editions. Really?
If there was a fail like that's a pretty noticeable one. I wouldn't say it's one of
better
their
than the
best.
Pip-Boy? A working fucking Pip-Boy?
Yeah, I mean...
I would say the Pip-Boy edition is
guys.
probably a little better, a little less controversial than this one, perhaps,
Yeah.
And to, assuage some of these upset fans, Bethesda's like, okay, we get that you're upset. We will give you 500 atoms in Fallout 76, which is their microtransaction currency. 500 atoms is 200 atoms short of being able to buy the only skin in game that does come with an actual canvas bag. So you can buy a hair style or
and 500 atoms is worth, I don't know, what is that, 3 euros?
$3.99
euros.
Yeah. So I mean,
whatever that is in America.
Not even.
Yeah, like you give us $4, we pay $200, and you give us $4 instead of a
$5
canvas
is
bag.
what it. Why not give people $50 or even $100 worth? $5 of a real refund would feel insulting, let alone $5 in virtual currency.
Yeah, and it's $50 or $100 of virtual currency.
It doesn't cost you anything to make that.
Exactly.
No.
But here's what it is, and I actually talked to Oak about it earlier this week, is they gave you 500 knowing that most of the stuff that you, like outfits and whatnot, are more than that. It's because it's the same idea that Riot had about selling Riot points at a certain amount, and then you're going to have leftovers. It's because those leftovers will encourage you to spend more money, more real money, to buy more of that currency so that you can buy the thing you want. So that's what they did, is they gave you a small amount hoping that you would spend the money to buy the remaining amount that you would need for skins and stuff. Or if they gave you a little bit of it, that it would incline you to start using that microtransaction store to start with anyway, which is just predatory on its own.
Well, you're being predatory on it, but there's is Grif and I, like you said, we talked about it earlier this week. My thought process: you can be predatory and not let people know you're being predatory. If this thing is $700 or 700 Atom, whatever, right? 700 Atom that would actually the Postman outfit that actually has the canvas bag. Why not just give them 1,000? Because now you've given them what they can afford. They have 300 left over, and they still have to buy from you in order to buy anything else in the store. But you give them 1,000, at least they could buy something with a canvas bag. Doing it this way shows that's, and then it's just like, oh, here's $5 for your inconvenience. Thanks for the $200. It's like, really? For something that does not cost you anything, nothing. Give them $100 worth of Atom in the game. Let them play along with whatever's on there. Now you've got them addicted into a system. That's how freaking all the microtransaction shit that happens in all the games nowadays, Fortnite, everything else, people are going to buy it as long as you keep swapping it up and do it the right way. Give them $100 worth and make it happen. They're going to eventually get addicted to it.
Should open a casino.
Right?
Yeah.
Get them addicted and make them come in and spend more.
That's right.
All right. Let's go ahead and make this. Let's go ahead and make this worse on Bethesda then.
Oh Lord.
All right. So, turns out Bethesda did make Fallout 76 canvas bags and gave them out to influencers for free.
So the bags that were promised to people that had spent money on their game did not get those bags. Instead, they got given to people for free.
Yeah. Let's. I'm Bethesda. I'm gonna make this situation worse for myself. That's right. I'm not gonna give the people that paid for it what they paid for. I'm gonna give it to other people for free.
And the thing is, the other bag that they gave wasn't even the same bag that was in the picture for this power armor stuff, but it's a larger bag, which means you had plenty of mother freaking canvas people to buy your canvas from.
Well, and here's the thing too. We don't know how many of these were handed out, right?
No, we don't.
And it's not going to be anywhere close to the amount of people that you have to that make for these particular $200 items. But again, promotional wise, shitty move.
Yeah,
it's shitty move. But at the same time, it's like once this found out, like, oh, did we say $5 worth of currency? What we meant was, $100 worth of currency. Sorry, it was a typo. Whatever. Like, I would be throwing everything I possibly could back into this. Because right now they're having so many issues anyway. It's just like, wow. Really?
Yeah. Like, oh my God, Bethesda, stop digging a hole. You're going down. Why are you digging a hole? Fill it in. That's what you're supposed to do. Not make it worse.
Fill it in with Elder Scrolls 6 stuff.
So is this the year of game companies shooting themselves in the feet? I mean,
only one with the word B at the letter B.
Well, I mean, that's not necessarily true. People were upset with Sony earlier this year because of their E3 stuff, so it's not just them. So I don't know,
companies
man.
just seem like, and Blizzard too, shooing themselves.
Well,
in the
that's why
fucking
he said
foot.
bees, because Blizzard and Bethesda right now.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like the video game companies are starting to become companies and less video game oriented, and it just kind of feels like there's they're starting to separate from where they started, and it, like, as consumers I understand, but as passionate fans it hurts. I know they want to make more money, but we want good projects too.
We'll just have another video game crash, and Nintendo will pick up the pieces again. It'll be fine.
I feel like I honestly feel like it's almost panic mode for the major companies that are out there because Epic has done so well with Fortnite. And like they're making so much money. They're like, oh, there's money to be had. We need to jump on this. Which is why you had, the ongoing joke of this past year was, or the beginning of this year was, the Battle Royale mode for everything, right? Pokemon Battle Royale mode.
Red Dead Online has a Battle Royale mode, by the way.
There you go.
But
it's a mode, not an actual game.
Yes.
Yeah,
True.
To be honest, I think Fortnite just got lucky. Like 100%, they just got lucky. They happened to tap into that untapped kids market. Like
well,
they
it was
just
free, so you're gonna have more of a base because people will play stuff for free
still,
that they wouldn't normally play.
Happened to get lucky to tap into that market. With mobile, they're like, all right, we can target all the, and I know they fucking say this shit at meetings. Okay, so now we can target the children who are playing. We can create a cultural phenomenon where if one kid is playing, it's like a disease. He spreads it to the next kid, and then they start spreading it, and then everybody, it just becomes the normal, like Pokemon did. Like, you just spread it like a plague around. Except back in the day, Pokemon didn't have microtransactions. You couldn't buy Pokeballs with real money. This one, they did it a more predatory style where it's like, yeah. Now go ahead and steal all of these meme dances and all of this, cultural icon stuff and then sell it to them. And then that's where we're at. And now,
it's on the internet. It's free, right? If it's on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. If no one claims that it's ours, right? All right, that's how it works. Now we can just make millions off of it. So I feel like Epic is a little scummy for the way they're handling this. It's kind of like getting into the mud and just being happy with the kind of pigs they are at this point with who they're targeting. And they did get lucky. So I don't think companies should follow Epic's pursuit because eventually they should get so big they'll fall.
If money's to be had, they're going to try to figure out a way to do it. Now, what I do like is the fact that, and I hate to say this, what I do like is the fact that Activision embraced who they were and turned around and go, hey, you know what? With Black Ops, we're going to create a really good multiplayer game. You're going to be able to play any way that you want to, do whatever it is that you need to into the game the way you've always done. We're not going to do a campaign. We're going to tell you who these characters are in a way of doing it through your tutorial, but we're not going to make you go through and play a campaign. Here it is. Here's your $60. It's up to you on whether you choose to buy it or not, but we're not going to promise you a campaign and give you shitty material for it. They embraced who they were. Now, I'm interested to see what they do for whatever's next, but they embraced who they were, and we're going to include a blackout mode that's our battle royale, but we still have who we are. Where I feel like everyone else is kind of jumping on this weird bandwagon of everything needs to be online and stuff like that, because I understand the games with service thing, but there are unique situations. Sea of Thieves to me is very unique. I don't have microtransactions. I've got new material that comes out every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I find that nuts. They haven't even put in microtransactions yet.
No.
One monkey.
I know, right?
They did mention the monkey. Oh, they mentioned the pets in like 2 videos ago. They were like, they're still working on the pets. We know you've heard about the pets. We're still working on the pets. So I'm interested to see when those come out. But for the most part, it is one of those where everybody's trying to use these microtransactions to do it. Well, how is Sea of Thieves operating? Most of them, Game Pass is what's driving them.
Yep.
How in the world are they making money right now? Well, it's because the parent company's making money off of them.
Mm-hmm.
So all you got to do is, that's how you figure that out. How do you make money? Figure out a way that the parent company can make money off of it. It doesn't have to be a microtransaction. Just got to be.
Microsoft's got like this plan and this method that they have developed where they have a regular income generated, and then they can kind of trickle that back down into their companies. Where instead of like direct consumer to company, it's more like consumer to company trickles down into their IPs and whatnot. Yeah.
Which is what I always felt about Blizzard. Even though Blizzard was all one company, right. I always felt as though everything that was going to the main thing, and then it was trickling down.
Well, I mean,
to the
that's
projects.
how it was, because
because HOTS doesn't make
like
enough.
And
it doesn't make enough. So I mean,
And I feel like with Activision's moving in with Blizzard, it's just one of those where it's like, how can we just make as much money for Activision?
Yeah.
Activision Blizzard versus just Blizzard. Right?
Yes.
Right?
Like,
But I mean, that's what a lot of companies have to start understanding is like, look at how gamers react to Activision's practices and EA's practices and all of these microtransactions that are being absolutely just thrown at us. Yeah, you can claim all you want. And I'll go ahead and head this counter argument off the pass. You can claim all you want. You don't have to buy it if you don't like it. Well, that's true. But that's not going to stop them from putting it in there because there are those people that are going to buy it, which is the unfortunate reality. Like, as much as it sucks, there's going to be people that have more money than common sense, or maybe it's somebody with mommy and daddy's money that are going to just be like, here's my credit card, I'm going to buy whatever I want because it makes me look cool.
I read a perfect analogy for that. I was hoping somebody would bring that up. But basically, all of us can preach as much as we want about how bad microtransactions are and whatnot, but companies are going to keep putting them in because, and the analogy was, it's like they toss out a net. And yeah, they may get some fish, but what they're looking for is the dolphins and the whales that will spend so much money that it doesn't matter how many little fish they get. They want those dolphins that are going to spend so much.
Because that's actually what the game company refers to them. Gaming companies refer to those people as whales. Yeah. Because they have just tons of disposable income. I mean...
Yeah, it's like when I was playing Game of War, you knew who the whales were. Because those were the people that would show up, and here's your little... building this big, and then there's everybody else's this big, and it's like, okay, well, I know what's going on here.
they're shelling out tons of money. Yep.
Just to be, it's who has the biggest dick type thing, in a way. In this case, it just happens to be, who has the most money on a credit card. But
so I mean,
but even then, if let's say you do buy the game, you don't like the game, now you have to worry about the refund part of it. Right?
Well, the refund part of it, you don't have to worry about if you read the refund policy that you clicked OK to.
Well, that's true.
I mean, it is, and I know what you're getting at, is because there's a big deal about Bethesda's refund policy right now. If you bought the digital copy for PC straight from Bethesda, there is no refund policy. And when you click the I'm okay with this, I'm buying this, I read your terms of service, you acknowledge, whether you read it or not, that you understand how their policies work, which means you signed away any sort of right that you have to a refund because they have a no refund policy.
Well, they do have a refund policy, but it states that you can only refund it if you do not install the game. The moment you click install, it is gone. Yep. You have installed, you have claimed your digital copy, you can no longer refund it. And how do you check the game? You have to install it and play it, and then you're just trapped with it. So, I mean, at least Steam has, what is it, 2 hour? You could play it for 2 hours.
It's 2 hours or 2 weeks if you haven't played it. Like, if you haven't hit that 2 hour mark in 2 weeks, you can refund it at that point still.
Yeah.
So,
but it wasn't long ago that was in...
Yeah, that's a 2-year-old policy. Before that, Steam, I don't think, had a return policy either. It was a digital marketplace. If you bought it was yours.
I think they had a 3 hour or something, or 3 day you could return it, and if not, then it was just yours forever.
Yeah, I mean, it was very limited because that's what prompted them to change it, is because whatever it was super, super small. So,
well, it's predatory too. It's like, oh, well, too bad you installed it. You can't give this back.
I mean, it is and it isn't. You can always wait for reviews or wait for patches. True. A lot of people are like, oh, okay, this is kind of buggy. I'll wait for patches. I mean...
yes, but in this world where we play a lot on our PCs and everybody's PC is different, you could watch reviews and everyone says it's good, you get it and download it, and then it runs like doo-doo on your PC.
I understand everybody's upset at it and whatnot, but from a purely business standpoint, Bethesda didn't do anything wrong. The users who purchased from their store clicked the accept button, which accepted their return policy, whether you read it or not, and this is a life lesson to people. If you are concerned about something, read what you're clicking before you just say okay. So, from a business standpoint, Bethesda's in the right. You signed something that said you acknowledged that you would not get a refund if you installed it, and you clicked it anyway, and you installed it, and now you're bitching about it.
Yeah, but we can all acknowledge that that's a pretty shitty refund policy.
Well, and I agree with that. It's actually beyond being a shitty refund policy. It's shitty of Bethesda to have launched a AAA full-price game in that state. That is early access at best.
Yes, definitely. That right there is why early access exists. It's like, let people get in there, and especially the pre-purchase A beta, that's not really going to give you shit. You
Well,
should've
what
early
they,
accessed it.
I feel like what they should have done, and they could have done this on the back end or whatever, but I feel like they should have done similar to what something like Sea of Thieves did, where they had an alpha that people played for weeks on end,
Yes.
and then beta people played on weeks on end, and then they allowed for an open beta for people to come in to in order to be able to test out the servers and everything else. But people played it for a long period of time in between, and they continue to have the Pioneer program that continues to make sure they're bug checking the entire fucking time on the back end of it. And that game was really, and people thought the same thing when that game was released. Well, this feels, because there's not enough content in it, it feels like this is an early access game, and you're paying $60 for the early access game.
Well, also, the server issues when it first came out. Oof.
Yeah, but when you had 1 million people at one time trying to sign in, it's a little hard. And they still got 5 million people that play the game. That's insane to me. But so I think that it's one of those where if they had kind of paid attention to doing something like that, they'd been fine. But I feel like they tried to rush this out.
Yep.
Because almost like they needed to
rushed.
have it type thing. And they usually do, don't they usually, when they do a Fallout, it's usually in the fall anyway?
Yeah, I mean, this is Fallout time of year, but, you know.
Fallout, right?
It doesn't have to be. We didn't have to have it. We're not so far beyond Fallout 4 that we needed right now to have another one. I mean, it just. You're right, it felt rushed.
We need Elder Scrolls more than we do.
Yeah, to be honest,
Yes.
yeah, that's the truth. But this almost, I mean, they did the
But
closed
Elder
beta.
Scrolls may not make as much money as what they were hoping Fallout 76 would do.
Well, because they were hoping that an online only, all the time on multiplayer thing is what everybody wanted, and people have asked for multiplayer Fallout. But what we wanted in multiplayer Fallout was not necessarily, you know, open world online only. We wanted co-op with our friends. Baka, your Kraken's getting out of hand, buddy.
No shit.
That was the dog.
Is your dog cracking?
No, he knocked the Super Nintendo controller on the ground.
Now you sound like Grif knocking our controllers everywhere.
Yeah, I keep dropping them. Just determined to break
Well,
everything.
they're Super Nintendo, so they're durable.
Yeah.
But-
It's Nintendo. It's always durable.
Yeah.
But as far as 76 goes, yes, there should have been a lot more in-house testing, and you're right, there should have been an open beta. But the problem is, if you had an open beta and the state that it's in, it wouldn't have sold. Because
But if it's an open beta, that's fine.
But you could do a large closed beta for a long time. Like you could have last year announced this game, said we're going to go ahead and take names for closed beta, set up like a Pioneer program that Sea of Thieves has, and go through and push the stuff through and say, hey, look, by the end of all this, guess what? You get, I don't know, the postman suit with a canvas bag, since you're not going to get it in your actual thing you're going to buy. But too soon? Anyway.
Oh, man, too soon.
But, you know, you have that thing to where you can go through that alpha and that beta and do those testings and do it on a mass scale, because you have to do it on a mass scale when you're doing a game with service. You can, and that's what different games that have gone onto Steam and been popular games have had to do, because there was no other way to test it in-house. There just wasn't. And it's like PUBG. Yes, it's a buggy, shitty game, and the company made billions of dollars off an early access game and released it way sooner than they should have. But we had to have a date, you know? And so, but if you think about it, how long it was in early access, it was there. Ark, if they'd done the game properly and actually finished the game before trying to create any other content, same concept, right? They're going in, they're creating it. They were giving us access to that. If you want to keep it all in-house, which is what they're doing when it comes to the actual PC version of the game, by making it only on their client, then that's how you have to handle it. We're going to do an early access version of this game. It drives me absolutely insane that they made this decision, and this is what we get. Because we just bragged not long ago about how polished everything Bethesda is when it sends out. They'll have the bugs, but it's usually polished. Then they give us this garbage.
Yeah, it's like they don't even look out the fucking windows. Does that building have windows? Look at what the other games and companies are doing. Take a little advice to yourself. But, I mean, they might be so conceited where it's like, oh, we don't need that. Yeah, you do. You really, really do. I mean, because in my opinion, 76 is a pretty neat concept. Big open world, Fallout, end of the world kind of deal where you got to survive and whatnot.
Different time period than we've been in before.
Yeah, so I mean, it looked really cool, but damn, Bethesda, holy shit, you didn't just drop the ball, you threw that motherfucker off a cliff. You're like, I don't need this. Whip. We're done here. Oh,
Crazy.
Well,
In more Bethesda news, this is the part that's gonna probably irritate the shit out of all of us. Will irritate the shit out of us. Bethesda banned Fallout 76 players for life after going into a game and doing basically a homophobic attack. It was bad. It's really bad.
Yeah.
I will send the link into the thing, but I am not
there'll
gonna...
be a link on our Discord. If you're not on our Discord, I'll link down below to that. But
and it has some. Also, by the way, Bethesda only gave them a 3-day ban. I think.
initially,
Yeah, it was a 3-day ban initially, and then they did more investigation. Now they're banned for life. They can never play Fallout 76 again.
Well, that's to be fair. That is one of those things of innocent until proven guilty. You give them a 3-day ban,
You
figure
look
out what's
into
going
it.
on, and then you do the proper thing. I'm cool with that. I don't have a problem with that. But
So,
yeah,
good news on their behalf after all.
Yeah,
the
a
bashing.
little bit of good news.
yeah. But basically, the guys had gone into the game and basically said, "We're here to kill all the gays." And
they were doing a quote unquote cleansing.
Yeah, it was, and so they went in and just murdered people, and it's not a good thing.
I mean,
Yeah,
and
it was
Bethesda did
pretty
build
fucking
in the
awful.
whole, like, if you shoot somebody and they don't shoot back, it'll take a lot more time and effort to kill them because they're taking less damage since they don't want to actually have an aggressive back and forth. But that did not deter this guy and his buddies from killing people. They just kept following them for 10 minutes. Like, 10 minutes of wasting your time. Seriously.
Yeah, and I will tell anybody now, if you're going to watch the video, it is very harsh language that it to the point that it makes my skin crawl and
I
makes me
can't
want
believe
to
the
punch
dude
things.
put it on YouTube.
Oh
I thought
my
it was
god!
okay.
It's a violation of YouTube's policies. I mean,
Yeah. Like, I understand joking around and being an ass among your friends, but holy shit!
dude's in high
When you
school.
take-
He's a
when
senior
you
in
take
high
it
school.
to that next level, you're crossing the line. Like, I mean, let's see.
His defense was that it was just late night fun, and that he thought that it would be fun to offend these people he met in the wasteland with him and his friends. And you can call that evil, but I think it's just playful immaturity. I do not regret this incident. This is the kind of idiot that will grow into a grown idiot and think that they can get away with literally everything because, well, it's just having fun. It's just boys being boys. It's like, no. That's
an
idiot
asshole
being
an
idiot.
asshole.
there's a difference between a 13-year-old doing this who hasn't, their brain has not completely changed to a point to where they can actually get to that point. But if you're a high school,
you're a borderline adult right there.
You're
buddy.
adult. You're adult
Yeah.
level. You need to have a fucking mindset of, oh my god, I should not treat people like shit. And I definitely should not treat people like shit based on something that has to do with their sexuality. Are you serious? It's just fucking dumb. And
So
trust me,
that's
I
just
used to
this
be
day and age.
I will state this as a former piece of shit human being. I can tell you right now, this is a piece of shit thing to do, and which is part of the reason that makes my skin crawl the way it does. Because I look at life differently now at the age of 41, almost 42. Oh my god, I'm getting old. Than I did when I was 17, 18 years old. But I wasn't this bad. No way. No way I was this bad. And
It
it
wasn't
was
this bad, but I was bad back
like,
in the early
but
days.
and to be fair, in my time period, if somebody was a homosexual or whatever, it was frowned upon, but it wasn't. I was kind of in that leading part where people were like more accepting and things like that, and I had friends that were gay. Those words would never still cross my mouth. You've got to be kidding me. This is like, it pisses me off that this guy goes in and does this shit to people, because this is why gamers get bad reputations.
Yep. Well, and it's
Is
because
because
these
of
are
stupid shit
standout
like this.
cases. So this guy, this idiot saying, "Oh, we were just having fun," you are representative of a whole group of people, and because this has made the news, you make a mass of people look bad because you thought it was funny. Like, that's the dumbest shit, and you know that what you did was wrong. You're just defending it. I mean, in his statement, he's like, oh, I don't dislike gay people. It's like, oh, but you thought it'd be funny to go after them. Yeah, I don't think so, buddy. I'm not buying it. You wouldn't think that was funny if you didn't already have a
dislike them,
prejudice.
but I'm going to use terms in which they would be offended by. And do it in a way that's violent, essentially.
Yeah, I mean,
because you're going in and we're going to eliminate. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, some of the things they said, that's just like
it's not okay.
Yeah, you took that way out of being playful.
Insert the words they were using with any other derogatory term towards another human being, whether that's an N-bomb or whatever that happens to be. It's still not good. It's not right. You take whatever it was that they did and put it in there. We're going to eliminate all the whatevers. Yeah. And put that word in there of whatever derogatory. It's not good. Period. Have a nice day. Fuck off. That's all I'm going to tell this kid. Fuck off. I don't give a shit. He's probably close enough to 18 that I don't give a care about it.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. High school senior, you're between 17 and 19, depending on how your school's been and what, when you started school. So you're between 17 and 19. You're grown enough that you know that's wrong. Mm-hmm. I mean, you do. You've gone through enough in your high school time to know that those are not things that you say to people, and that it's asshole behavior. I mean, you know that. Yep. And if you don't know that, Jesus, who are your parents and what did they do wrong? Like, gee.
Right.
Somebody needs to come look into those people.
Probably just handed them the devices and said, here, leave mommy alone.
Yeah, if he's 18 or 19, that means he
grew up in a digital age.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is because we're all older. He only grew up with technology.
We're not that much older, but geez,
no,
yeah, okay.
Well, but we were all alive before the internet was real. Like, before...
It was real, we just weren't mass using it.
It came out. It started in 1996. We were all born before then.
Oh, well, okay, I'll give you that. It was a thing that we had access to there.
Yeah. Like we started getting access to it as we started getting older.
Unrestricted access that kids do now. Because you're right, a lot of parents now are just like, here's an iPhone, go and play on the internet and do whatever. Just don't do anything bad, little Jimmy. Don't bother checking on little Jimmy because you know he's just going to do exactly what you said as a parent.
And the fucking internet just sensationalizes and gives you access to everything there is in the world, and then it just twists your mind into thinking what is okay and what is not, and without proper guidance, it just disforms your ideology into where.
Well, and now it's at high speed.
Yeah,
you think about it when I was, because I was 19 years old in 1996. So like when this came out and we had the internet and everything was going, it was, you had the nice little sound going on. Hopefully you got connected. You had several numbers you had to choose from. Because my dad, some of us would use the AOL disc for a little bit. But then after those wore out, you had to do something else. So we didn't get the information as quickly. So even if we went to Yahoo, or the Google didn't even exist by then, but Yahoo was real popular, and of course AOL had their own news stuff as well, and then I think MSN had stuff. We would go to those websites in order to get news or anything like that, but there was no, hey, they had forums, but they were used for something totally different.
Yeah, back in the day.
So you didn't have the toxic spew that's been put out there, whether it's
and it was
Facebook
less
or whatever.
okay back then too. Mm-hmm. Like you did have chat rooms and whatnot and all of that stuff because you got in a lot of trouble there. But but it felt like even though you were privy to some kind of not great things, it wasn't the level that you are now. Where it's like,
now you would crank up your MySpace site later on
with your autoplay music and your shitty moving background.
That's right.
Because everybody kept pushing to see how far. Everybody was still afraid of getting backlash. And then as the mindset started changing, where it's like, oh, I could say things and people don't know who I am. Oh, I could really say things and people will never find out who I am. And then they just kept pushing that envelope into the point to where like, oh boy, I can make fun of people and not get in trouble. Or, oh, I can make people mad and not get in trouble. And thus trolls were born.
Yes. Well, to bring this back to Fallout 76, and I know we're running long on time here, I'm glad Bethesda did ban them. And I really hate that this dude who's between 17 and 19 thinks that this behavior is okay. He's going to have a real hard life ahead of him.
Or a real easy life, depending on how our future goes.
Oh.
I think it's going to be either it's going to be a hard life, or it's going to be one of those where he changes as he grows, goes to college.
If he goes to college.
Fair enough. Can end up growing as a human. I hope he doesn't think he's internet famous because he's now internet infamous. More like it, right?
Wow.
So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
fuck that guy. Don't be that guy, people. Okay.
Let's kind of lead that into another shitty human being, and then we'll move on from there. Because I'd rather not stay on the shitty human being part of it. Game's done quick. Indefinitely splits with speedrunners over some sexist and transphobic comments. Basically, in a Discord, guys, Discords aren't private unless you just absolutely make them that way. And if you piss the wrong people off, guess what? That information gets out onto the internet. So don't be stupid about your stupidity. Basically, you had a couple of speedrunners. They were talking in chat rooms, saying some stuff that was homophobic, some stuff that was very sexist, some stuff that was very transphobic. Some of the shit, like, again, it makes skin crawl. That women aren't as competitive as men. Evidently never met Grif.
She's more competitive than me, but a little angrier than...
Sorry.
They did some anti-Semitic stuff as well, including some of the I think it was some of the room names were even anti-Semitic, if I remember correctly, from the tweeter. The tweeter. I said that.
The tweeter.
the Twitter post that was sent out there. We'll post all the information and everything in there, but I'm glad that they split with them. Do you know who these are, Chicken? Because I know you watch Games Done Quick a lot.
No, I don't. Well, I may have seen them, but I don't know them personally.
Okay. But the guys that are on there, it looks like they do Super Mario 64, GoldenEye, Doom 64, Pilot's Wing 64. So a lot of 64 games, it looks like, is what they're known for. Is White Goose, and the other one was Graviton?
Grav something or other. I'll be right back. Keep going.
And then one guy White Goose was even like, I'm gonna ban women from my Discord, to be honest. There's only like 5 in there, and it was like, I'm like, really? Like this goes back to the mentality that women can't be gamers or can't do this or can't do that. Like, there's this misogynistic thought process that we have on there. Yes, there are times when in the past when this would have been a true statement in a lot of ways, but as we've progressed through this, women are half of the population of all gamers. 50-50, guys.
Yes.
They might have surpassed us for all I know now, because I haven't done the research on that. It's just like people are like, oh, video games are for kids. No, the average person that buys video games is 36. Plays and buys them. 36. So, no, they're not just for kids either. So, and then
that mentality comes from like back on the Nintendo and Super Nintendo.
Well, but that's where we started. I mean, like, I started with an Atari and moved my way up through and
but my parents would play the games too. I mean, so
my dad
it wasn't
did too.
Just for kids. So
no, it wasn't. But it was. It's kind of like they did what Epic is doing. They tried to advertise towards the kids, so it created this idea that it was just for kids. Mm-hmm. And then, if you played them as an adult, you kind of got looked down upon because it was for kids. But as we've gotten older, it's video games are a medium for entertainment now. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like movies, it's like books, it's like pretty much any other form of entertainment. It's good. You could be whatever age and read a book. You could be whatever age and watch a movie. You could be whatever age and play a game.
You could be whatever age and listen to BTS.
Yes, exactly.
Timeless.
It's timeless.
Yes. So, I mean, it doesn't matter how old or how young you are. Well, okay, it matters how young you are. You should be careful of what games your children play. Yes. But it doesn't matter how old you are to play games.
No.
So,
but I'm glad they banned them. They stepped up and they did due diligence on that one.
Yeah.
So and
stop being bad people, everybody.
Yeah. I know. If you watch us, please just be a good person. Just be decent. You don't have to be the greatest and donate all of your money to everything. Just don't be an ass.
Just to be clear, too, one of the guys that was in it, I don't remember which one it was, made the statement in there that, this was when he made those statements that his mentality has changed and stuff. Since then, we're now December the 2nd. Those were made back in June.
Maybe we don't have dates.
Well,
on
some of them
those
we
ones.
know were made in June.
Yes,
right?
some of those were made in June.
Some of those were made in June. We don't know about all of it because the way that the pictures were taken, it does not show the dates. So it is a possibility it could even be before June or really close to the time of the posting of the article. So I'm not really sure. Like I would, if I were him, that's where I would defend myself. Look, this is when it was sent out. Mm-hmm. Look at your date. But even then, you know, he even says in there, he said some really bad things, horrible things, that type of thing, and that his mindset has changed since then. So it does sound like that took place a while ago. But
that's
maybe
still
more
no
will,
excuse for saying those things.
No,
I'm
but
glad
maybe
he's
more will
grown.
come from will come more from this story, and maybe he'll try to figure out a way to work his way back, at least his reputation, in some way over the next. It's going to take years, but
yeah, good luck for sure. People don't forget things like that.
Well, and you're going to have some people that have similar mentality to what he used to have, and they're going to latch on to him, and maybe he can use that to change their mentality.
Wasn't that one of them was kind of like, oh, I got more publicity from this than going to GDQ anyway? And it's like, that's not really how you should be looking at this situation, bro. I mean, that just shows what kind of person you are.
That whole mentality of even bad news is good news, in a way.
There's no such thing as bad press.
Yeah, it's no such thing as bad press. Yep.
Yeah,
and there is. So
I'm gonna say no. That's bad press.
Yeah.
I mean, with the whole hashtag Me Too movement, there's definitely bad press. You best be careful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Anything else we want to touch on?
There is one thing I want to throw out there. Well, I guess if this gets out tomorrow, then it will be your last day. EA announces December start date for Anthem's closed alpha. If you are interested in trying it out and just want to see, because I've already put in mine.
Put your name in like a lottery kind of thing?
No. You sign in, and you tell them that you want to be part of this, and there are 4 times that they're doing it. It's next Saturday and Sunday from like 9 to 12 and 2 to 5. 9 to 12, 2 to 5 for Saturday and Sunday. And then you tell them that you want to be part of that, and you fill out your background of preferences, you know, what you prefer to play, what you play on, what's important to you, and things like that. I filled it all out. I'm good. Hopefully I'll get an invite. But yes, if you were interested in just trying it to see what it is like, be sure to sign up. Maybe you'll get an opportunity to play.
Especially if you're skeptical of it. Like if you're, you're kind of that middle ground that's there. If you're skeptical of the game, this is a good way to do that. Anytime you have a beta and it's a game that you're kind of wishy-washy about it, you need to sign up for it. Now, Sea of Thieves was something that we were really big on, and we signed up for the beta on it. Got into the beta part of that.
Got into the alpha.
Shh.
We can talk about it now.
Yeah, we can't talk about the NDA's
1 year ago.
Yeah, but we did get into the alpha of it, and we enjoyed it and had fun playing. And that got us addicted to that game for a little bit. So it is a possibility if you're like, oh, this is just going to be Destiny 3, then you might want to at least try to play the game and see if that's something's there. So
absolutely,
and
it's what Bethesda should have done.
And also maybe you'll help them actually keep the game from being Fallout 76. So
test it and break shit.
Yes, and I want to see how the game plays. Like I want to feel the game before I get it, which is what I wanted to do so bad with Fallout 76. But you had to pre-order the game, and I was like, but I just want to test it before I pre-order it.
Yeah.
Let me try it out.
Nope.
Don't make me commit to it without having any option.
I guess they didn't want to give any more fuel to people who knew they weren't gonna like it.
Yeah, but they didn't give any fuel to the people that were trying to get their car started for it.
Well, that's true.
It's like my car is empty over here. I want to drive your car. Let me try it. It's like no, you're stuck out there. Well, whatever. Fuck you then. So I didn't buy it. I mean, I was on the fence, but they didn't help me out, so I just fell off and said, "Fuck it."
Well, and before their comments about it and whatnot, because I posted a little about it, I know that EA or that Bioware has mentioned they're going to be talking about the next Dragon Age project soon, and the question is, are you excited about it, Grif? No, I am not. I'm not, because one of the things they've attached to it is there was a mention of having part of their live services be in it, which to me insinuates they're going to try to move towards microtransactions and multiplayer, and in a Dragon Age world, I'm not so sure that's going to work. If you want to defend that with Dragon Age Inquisition had a multiplayer aspect, go right ahead. I didn't play the multiplayer, so I don't know how it worked or whether it worked or anything about it really. If you want to try it out with me, you can let me know and I'll see what I can do. But I'm not interested in an online Dragon Age stuffed with microtransactions. And after Mass Effect Andromeda, which they fixed after some patches and whatnot, but I know how much EA had their hands in BioWare's, soup, essentially, trying to fix it and be like, we want this, we want that, throw this out, put this in instead. I'm not excited. I'm nervous.
And it's their B team working on it, because C team failed and fell off with.
C team got fired after Mass Effect Andromeda. B team is working on the new Dragon Age, so.
I do hope, though, if they've been working on this the whole time, that they have just been working on this one thing the whole time.
But the problem with that is EA coming in and saying, we want this thing, and then they come in 5 minutes or 5 months later and be like, we know we told you we wanted this thing, we don't care about this thing anymore. Change it to this thing. And then doing the same thing, rinse, repeat, which is what's happened to some of their other games as well, is people coming in. That's what happened, it's not EA, but with Square Enix, that's what happened to Mankind Divided for Deus Ex, is they kept, the publishers kept coming in and saying, change this, now change this, now change this. We don't want this anymore, we want you to do this instead. And it ended up being a hack job.
This is why I love what Microsoft's doing right now. They're buying up all these companies and going, how much money do you need to operate?
Well, and speaking of which, Obsidian, who just got bought by Microsoft earlier, like a couple months ago, will be making an announcement at the Game Awards in a couple of weeks.
There's 10 new announcement for games coming at the Video Game Awards.
What do you all think?
Dragon Age will be there. I'm calling it now. Dragon Age will be shown and announced at Video Game Awards.
I'm so worried.
Do you think that the Obsidian game is going to be exclusive for Xbox and Microsoft for Windows?
No,
probably.
No, I don't think so. I think because they just bought them. I think that the project that they have in the works right now is kind of like across the board. But whatever they come out with afterwards is going to be exclusive. Because it's like, oh yeah, we're bringing in, keep working on what you're working on, give it to everybody, we're backing you on this, and then when it's done, they're going to be like, yeah, okay, now you're ours.
What would be a smart idea is to do a new IP, release it on all the platforms, and then the sequels, if it does well, put it on Xbox and PC.
Well, considering everything else has gone backwards from that, because if you think about like Kingdom Hearts is going to be on everything. And it was started off on PlayStation only, and you can only get it on like all the previous ones. You can only get on PlayStation. You can't even get them on Xbox. So it's going to be interesting to see. I'm interested to see where Microsoft is going with all this, because basically, and Phil Spencer just recently met with Rare again for whatever their new project is they're working on.
Microsoft is playing nice with everybody, and whatever Obsidian releases, it's going to be for everybody. And then it's going to slide right into the Game Pass catalog with all the rest of their games, which makes Microsoft look even better. It's like, yeah, you could just come play this for $8 a month. You can play all of these for $8 a month. Come on and join in all the fun. But, I mean, if you're on PlayStation, you can go ahead and buy it, or PC, you can go ahead and, actually, hell, PC, you can play it with Game Pass, too. If it's
as long as it's one of the, as long as it's one of the ones that you can, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, it makes Microsoft look like the good guy, and they're playing the game against Sony too. So I mean, because Microsoft and Nintendo are like buddies now. They're like, yeah, we're working together. We both have our own things, but we're not going to step on each other's toes.
See, that's where I would do too. I would be, if I was Microsoft, I would figure out a way to make games for Switch as well. Like that, they're on our platform and Switch, but they're not going to be on anything else. But they're, we're able to fit it on the little disc or the little cartridge. Figure out a way to do that.
Yeah,
so it's gonna be interesting to see how the everything changes with them buying all that stuff up. And Game Awards will be fantastic. It was Thursday night. Is that right?
Yes, Thursday night, 12/6.
Fantastic. Yeah, so watch that. Anything else anybody wants to add?
Go watch my Uncharted 4. Just started on YouTube. Yeah, do it.
Do it. Do all the things.
Do it.
Do it now.
Come on. I mean, our first video, we saw baby Nathan and then moderately older Nathan. We didn't even get to present day Nathan. You gotta love it. You see, like, everything.
Old Nathan. Whoa, that's a little odd. You see everything, Grif?
Well, let's not be ridiculous.
There is
a naked guy that runs around in the woods in Red Dead Redemption. Just saying. I think he thinks he's a wolf. I haven't caught up to him yet. But he's naked.
Chase him on your horse. He can't outrun you.
At least I know ahead of time, so when I play the game later on, and I'm like, "Did y'all know there's a naked guy that's running through the woods? I don't have to do that."
Yes, I did know that.
You'd be like, "Yes, we now have it." We do appreciate everybody that hangs out with us each and every week at Infinite Respawn. As always, you can check us out on Twitter at InfiniteResPC. You can check me out personally at MDB Oaktree. Check out Grif.
At Grif Slynum.
Check out Chicken.
At Elite Chicken 313.
Check out Baka.
At Baka Pickle.
Also, make sure, as she just said, go to Grif's wonderful YouTube. Go on there, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget. Don't forget about. If anybody want to know, yes, it is cut live. You're good.
Don't worry, I'll fix that though.
Don't worry, she'll cut that out of here.
I'll try. I'll do my best.
Ren longer. We're usually done by now.
As Griff says, make sure that you go to her YouTube channel. Go on there and watch her YouTube Uncharted 4 stuff that she's just started up. And make sure you hit the little button so you get the alerts every time it comes in. And also, if you follow her on Twitter, she also posted there. And I'm pretty sure that Infinite Respawn retweets it. It's this whole big thing. It's unbelievable. Also, make sure you go to twitch.tv/EliteChicken313. Where Chicken, what are you playing this week, bud?
I don't know yet. It's gonna be another. God. It's gonna be another RPG. So it might be.
Are you doing a stream with the Game Awards going on? Or are you doing like what we did
if
for
I
E3?
if I can do it, I will be doing. If I'm allowed to host it, then I will go ahead and put it on our stream, and we'll all watch it together and stuff, like I did for E3. So
fair enough. Awesome. I think I'm going to try to do the same thing too. I got to find out from Mixer if I can or not. Also, make sure you go to mixer.com/MDB Oaktree. Tuesday night, I am having a speed run of Outlast competition with my friend Piffers, who she thinks she's going to be able to beat me. But
do you even know how to speed run? Do you know all the glitches and everything?
No, we're not. No, we're doing glitchless, man. I'm not cheating. So yeah, that's cheating, bud. No, we go through the game as quickly as we possibly can without skipping. Actually, you can skip 95% of that game, so it would not be much of a stream if you did it that way. But no, we're going through on it. I want to say that about an hour is an hour and 20 minutes. Somewhere in between there is probably about how long that will take. So I'm interested to see about where she's at it. And we're doing it on not the easy level, but the one below that, because insane might be a little too crazy for her. So, but I've played on all the levels on this game, so I'm like, okay, like my 8th time through it, we got this. All right. But for Infinite Respawn, I'm Oaktree.
I'm Grif.
I'm Chicken.
I'm Baka.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.